No deal for two ex-royal flops. Hapless Harry and Meghan Markle's luck has run out. Well, it looks like luck has finally run out for the Duke and Duchess of Hypocrisy. William is supposedly in no mood whatsoever to entertain a truce and welcome the two of them back. And that is happening in spite of Harry's desperate plea for one. So a return to the royal teat is not going to happen anytime soon, thank goodness. And we should mostly be thanking William and Catherine right now. They can see how much damage Harry and Meghan have done to the royal family, and also to the people of Britain, who had their kindness and generosity thrown back in their faces. I mean, Oprah, Megxit, a whole string of betrayals at the hands of those two. And let's not forget what kind of effect their behavior had on a dying Duke of Edinburgh and on the late Queen too. She was grieving for her husband. And there's all the rest of the nonsense too, right up until the Queen passed away. Despicable doesn't even begin to cover it. As Harry told us, Meghan gets what Meghan wants, and God help anybody who dares to stand between her and a big old pile of money. Now, of course, William can see the very real potential for future damage if they were to come back anytime soon, and he has got to do whatever he can to protect his own family, as well as the royal family as a whole. So sorry, Meghan and Harry, not. I will never forget the look on that reporter's face when Harry said, "We never said the royal family was racist. The media did. We never said the word racist." That to me was a defining moment where the world figured out how Meghan and Harry love to play with words and they love to lie. It all looked pretty easy, huh? Declare a truce and then just waltz back into the UK like nothing ever happened, get back on the royal taxpayer teat. So, Harry, it looks like you're going to have to come up with another plan and figure out another way to earn a living, away from a British taxpayer-funded stipend. Nobody wants you or your evil wife on either side of the Atlantic, or really anywhere else in the world for that matter. I can only assume that any wish to come back to the UK is all connected with their ever-increasing need for money, and they're just going to be moving their sense of injustice, entitlement, and of course loud, spiteful whining from the US to the UK. Truth is, Harry already knows how things work. Meghan, however, well, she can't see that because she's so blinded by her greed. They just need to stop expecting any kind of fairy tale reconciliation because it's exactly that, a fairy tale. They have done way too much at this point. I really do hope that William chooses to ignore the two of them and just leaves them to the exile they chose. And it is weirdly satisfying to watch the long overdue unraveling of their pathetic lives. The two of them deserve whatever unhappiness comes their way after all the pain they caused Harry's family. And I'm sure they're going to start using those children as weapons as soon as they can. I mean, poor kids, if they exist. They are cut off from most of their extended family and trapped with those two. It's also funny to me how Meghan and Harry tried so hard to hurt the royal family, but the royal family is doing great. They are succeeding. They are thriving. They are serving their country and the Commonwealth. They are bringing attention to important causes and charities. People now view the royal family the same as everybody else. Everybody has the mentally dysfunctional ones in the family, right? And the royal family is no exception. The people with no respect for anybody but themselves. Now the royal family has handled themselves with nothing but respect and kindness towards Harry, and also Meghan, and I'm sure that was not easy. These two have been such a destructive force in a number of countries. The royal family, though, has given them more than enough rope, and now it looks like they are finally hanging themselves. Why would anybody want them after they treated members of their family so horribly? Meghan is incredibly demanding and pushy, and so cringy too. And Harry turned out to be not only an idiot, but also a traitor. The Wales family, however, are completely different. They're so dedicated, they're so hardworking, they're incredibly loyal, and they have so much respect for family values. Well, Harry turned out to be a pitiful mommy's boy. I'm guessing he inherited a skinful of the Duke of Windsor's pathetic genes. Much like the Duke of Windsor, Harry has to be dominated by this disgusting social climbing woman. I mean, it's really pitiful. The fact is, William is still the brother of Harry. All brothers have their problems, but William at least cared enough that he pointed out that Harry shouldn't rush into something without knowing Meghan a lot better. I'm sure it was not easy for William to take such a firm stance against his brother. Catherine and William and Harry all worked so well together, and Catherine was so kind towards him. She was so caring. She really was like the sister he never had. Even he said that, but now it seems like he has forgotten all of that. It's true that Meghan and Harry cannot be trusted. I mean, I wouldn't trust this alleged separation until the ink was dry and a divorce settlement was paid out. Meghan loves stirring up drama, and what could be more dramatic than Harry coming home and all being forgiven by the family, and all of a sudden Meghan decides she can't live without him and they reunite. No, I don't trust them one bit. I suspect Meghan has still got Harry wrapped around her little finger. Another thing is that the feud between the princes is because Harry is being an absolute a-hole. The rift is almost entirely because of Harry. He could have successfully continued on as a member of the firm. He could have led a very comfortable life as a leading royal. But no, he decided to crap in the bed and then run away and whine that the bed had crap in it. He's always whining about wanting privacy, but at the same time, he's always looking for interviews in which he slanders and abuses his own brother, his father, and the memories of his mother and grandmother. I mean, if you look at other cadet lines, like younger kids in the royal line, you can see that none of them have thrown these little fits against their family in such a way. Princess Anne is a very well-respected royal, as is Prince Edward, and Princess Margaret was too. King George VI is also an interesting case because he was a younger brother, he was a spare, he never expected to become king, but he exhibited perfect behavior in spite of the fact that he had a lot more to put up with from his family than Harry has ever had. I mean, even Prince Andrew, for all his faults and with the royal family distancing themselves from him, has never reacted in such a bratty way. Now, in spite of all this mess, King Charles has made it abundantly clear that Harry would be welcomed back into the royal fold if he wanted to. But every approach by the royals has been met with snubs by Meghan and Harry. The sooner the two of them realize they're behaving like a couple of spoiled brats, the better for everybody concerned. Unfortunately, they are still expecting an apology. What a couple of idiots. I can only assume an apology for not being granted their half-in, half-out request. But we don't really know the whole story of the Exodus. There are so many rumors that they were forced out thanks to their awful behavior on their overseas tours, the way they treated staff members, and also their unreasonable demands. For example, they wanted to be given first choice of which overseas tours and engagements they wanted to do. They wanted unlimited funding, they wanted joint access to the resources of the Duchy of Cornwall with William, and they even expected to be paid a stipend for every single engagement. Harry also wanted to be basically the equivalent of co-Prince of Wales and co-King with his older brother William. So did William receive more attention from his parents, his grandparents, and his great-grandmother when they were growing up? Or could it be that they were just beginning his training, because that was an important part of his life? Now, from William's perspective, he was having to go to these boring meetings where he had to listen about how he needed to act and what to do when he met other people. I'm sure at times he was jealous of Harry because Harry got to go out and play and have a lot of fun. I can only assume that William thought Harry had much more freedom than he did, because in many ways he did. Harry had more freedom to run around and do whatever he wanted to in public, stick his tongue out. William never did a thing like that. He always had to be perfect. It's a little bit like Prince George and Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis today. And you, what do you think about Harry and Meghan? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. Don't be afraid to like and share my video with anybody else who needs it if you think it's helpful. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.